Welcome to Podcast Marketing Secrets. In today's episode, I'll cover what is a business podcast and how can it help your business attract more clients and make more sales. But first, have you ever wondered why most businesses in your industry struggle while a select few seem to get business effortlessly, with clients literally seeking them out and asking to work with them? Is it their amazing product? The answer is no. Having an amazing product is a component, but not the reason why they are so successful. I know many business owners that have amazing, life-changing products and services, but struggle to pay the bills every month. So is it their world-class customer service? Again, the answer is no. Then it has to be their amazing offer, right? An offer so good that people feel foolish saying no to. This is also a big no. While all of these are necessary components to building a solid business, they do not guarantee business or financial success. Then what is it? What's the secret sauce that sets a select few in a class by themselves, where they seem to get business effortlessly? The answer is these business owners have established themselves as thought leaders or key persons of influence in their industry, where clients literally seek them out, asking to do business with them instead of the other way around. So the next obvious question is, how do you become a key person of influence in your industry? In the past, business owners achieved key person of influence status with a written book, press releases, seminars, and interviews on radio and TV, which is slow and in many cases very costly. In today's world, the easiest way to establish yourself as the go-to person in your industry is with what I call a business podcast, which leads us to the topic of this episode. What is a business podcast and how can it help you attract more clients and make more sales? Where clients seek you out, asking to do business with you. A business podcast has the sole purpose of establishing you as a key person of influence in your industry. This is done through intention and logical progressions through the podcast itself, as well as marketing materials based around the podcast episodes. The podcast establishes the foundation, highlighting your knowledge and expertise in your chosen field. The marketing materials get your ideal clients into your ecosphere, creating awareness and driving them back to your podcast episodes. This gets them to know, like, and trust you without ever meeting you in person. You become omnipresent in their world, making you the obvious choice to do business with. So let me show you the basic framework on how this is achieved. So your podcast is basically the central or focal point of everything. It's the center of the universe. And it could be done in video or audio format. I recommend both because you could record the video and then strip the audio to post to each syndication channel. So there are syndication channels for your podcast, including video RSS feed, audio RSS feed, and blog RSS feeds. So RSS means real simple syndication. So you literally syndicate your podcast along those three channels in video, audio, or blog, because people like to either watch, listen, or read. So you're just meeting them where they're at and then driving them back to the podcast itself. The marketing materials are derived from the podcast and then posted amongst a variety of channels to create awareness and authority. On YouTube, you could post the full podcast episode in video format, and then also post shorts and posts that drive people to the shorts and the videos. On Instagram, you do posts and video reels or stories. On LinkedIn, on your personal page, you can post about the podcast, and then on your business page, you do articles. On Twitter, you could do regular posts and also Twitter threads, which is a conglomeration of posts, usually about 6 to 12 posts, all in a line that are related to the podcast itself, to that podcast episode. And people love them. And then there's the blog. The blog is super important for SEO, a bunch of different purposes, but You do blog posts and blog articles. A blog post is simply a long form article, usually 1,000 to 2,000 words, depending on the length of the podcast itself. Then the articles are short form blog posts, usually about 400 words or so. And then you could also, do some marketing through your email newsletter, driving your list back to the podcast itself. And then on Facebook, you do posts and video reels doing the same thing, driving people back to your podcast, creating awareness and building authority. Now, most people will record a podcast episode, post it online, maybe send an email to their list, and that's it. But that's not enough to get the desired effect. You need to create and post marketing materials around each episode to create awareness, build your community, and establish authority. This is the key to success and how you establish yourself as a key person of influence in your industry. You create the podcast, then 10 to 20 marketing assets are created from that podcast episode. They are posted on social media, your blog, and your email newsletter, which all drives your prospects and clients back to the full podcast episode. This allows you to showcase your knowledge and authority in your industry, and you could become omnipresent in their world. Daniel Priestley, in his book Oversubscribed, calls this the 7-11-4 strategy, meaning that for a prospect to get to know, like, and trust you in today's world, they need to consume 7 hours of content with 11 interactions on 4 different channels. In other words, prospects and clients do a ton of research on you and your business before making a buying decision. If you can provide them with this 7-11-4 strategy, you'll get clients coming to you ready to buy. And when you provide this content strategy on a consistent basis, you automatically become a key person of influence in your industry. How cool is that? Now, it may seem daunting to create all of this by yourself, and it is. Successful business owners don't have the time to produce all this content. This is why 95% of podcasts never make it past 2 or 3 episodes, and why most businesses stay stuck and struggle to get new clients consistently. However, if you work with a company like Video Podcast Pros, you can simply record 2 to 4 podcast episodes a month, and VP Pros does all post-production and repurposing, creating show notes, timestamps, and all the assets mentioned for social media, your newsletter, and your blog. This means you spend 30 to 60 minutes just 2 to 4 times a month and get your podcast syndicated through all channels, plus get the 10 to 20 marketing assets previously mentioned, all done for you. Imagine not having to worry about what to post on social media or what email content to send to your list. It's all done for you, making you look like a rock star in your industry. If you like the sound of this, I encourage you to subscribe to this podcast on YouTube, Apple, or your favorite podcast listening platform. You can find us on YouTube and IG at The Podcast Marketer. This is Al Morenton with Podcast Marketing Secrets and Video Podcast Pros. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next episode.